Hey everybody, so I'm here for the Nostalgia Junkies 2025 NFL mock draft. Trying to keep the tradition going. I found this year especially difficult just because mainly it's a crapshoot after, I mean, between who goes 2 and 3, kind of when you get to 4 or 5, it just starts, no one really knows for sure. We don't know if the mocks are going to be right, all the ones that we've looked at. It kind of seems like there's going to be less trades than normal. So I just, for once, elected just not to do trades, um, just because it just seems so unpredictable. But that's also what makes it really fun too. This may be one of the least talented drafts, but the unpredictability is going to make it a lot of fun. So I've got my picks on my tablet. So if I'm distracted over here, it's just because I'm looking through with the teams and who I've selected with my run through. So not going to spend too much time explaining a lot of these because I just tried my best. This is probably not going to be my strongest year. Probably going to be maybe my worst mock draft ever, but that's part of the fun. So that's what we're doing it for, just for fun. Um, there's a couple in the top 10 that I'll spend a little more time on just because I have some conspiracy theory type thoughts, and I didn't quite have the guts to like pull the trigger on it. So but I will take time to talk about those for just a second. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Number one, Tennessee Titans. I have them selecting Cam Ward. Um, I thought Cam Ward was really good in college. I thought he made Miami better. I understand from a tool standpoint why he's going number one overall. So let's move right along to pick number two, and this is tough. Picking, and this is the Cleveland Browns picking between Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. Kind of going with the latest trend. Uh, then I've got Travis Hunter, wide receiver slash cornerback from Colorado, going to Browns number two overall. All I can say is I hope they don't waste his talent. I hope he will be fun there. I mean, he's going to be fun wherever he goes, but I'm always a little weary when players go to the Browns. So, all right, pick number three, we have the New York Giants, and I have them selecting the leftover, which in this case is Abdul Carter, the edge out of Penn State. Um, I heard there's only like 3 or 4 blue chip prospects in this class, and if you count Cam Ward in that's the fourth one. So it's between Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, and I think Ashton Genty. So pretty much we're almost to the end of that already because people are going to put an asterisk next to a running back anyway. So all right, so pick number four. This is one of my conspiracy theories, and I talked to Wesley about this earlier today, and was talking about how uh, the coach for New England, of course, his name's probably gonna slip my mind now that I'm actually on the spot trying to think of it. But anyways, he was the Titans coach for forever, and he had Derrick Henry and did so well there with Derrick Henry. He had that bell cow who's special. He's not just any running back. And I thought, man, wouldn't that be really really fun if he went and drafted Ashton Genty? I think that would be really really neat. Of course, I told Wesley the Patriots were like last in sacks last year, and they have a lot of holes to fill. So I opted to go with offensive tackle Will Campbell out of LSU to the Patriots. Um, it's just I have seen that mocked a lot, and it does make sense. And Mike Vrabel, it finally hit me. It just makes sense that he's going to build up lines, offensive or defensive. So we're going to go the boring route and go that way. All right. So pick number five, a lot of people have a different pick here, but I have seen this one picking up steam. I think you have to build around Trevor. They already have, but you've got to know if Trevor's going to live up to the enormous hype that he had. So I say you go tight end Tyler Warren, who I do think is the best tight end in this draft, and it's a strong tight end draft. So I think that would be really fun. Just go ahead and do that. So, all right, number six, the Raiders, and this is my other conspiracy spot. I think Shador Sanders and Tom Brady have somewhat of a relationship. I've heard them tied together. I think Shador wants to be like Tom Brady. I mean, who wouldn't? But he specifically names Brady as an influence, I believe. And of course, if you don't know, Tom Brady's in like the ownership section of the Raiders now. I don't know if he's in a group or just part owner, however that works. And I don't know how much say so he gets. I was really tempted to put Shador Sanders here. If it happens, I'm going to be kicking myself. But I decided to go with Ashton Jeanty, running back from Boise State. Reason being, it's because of Pete Carroll. I think Pete Carroll is the oldest coach in NFL history, or if not, he's really close. He's like maybe 73 or going on 73, going on 74, something like that. And maybe he needs his Marshawn Lynch. I just know he's in win now mode, so I don't know how much like building for the future they're wanting to do right off the bat. Um, I think that would be a good spot for Shedeur Sanders because personally, I do think Shedeur is going to be. I think he's going to work out. I think he's going to be good. I think Wesley and I differ a little bit for that. I think Wesley might have said he's a mid. I don't know, but anyways, we got Ashton Jeanty going there, and that's going to make that offense a whole lot of fun. So from here, I'll try to start speeding things along. So number 7, we have the New York Jets taking Armand Membu, the offensive tackle out of Missouri. Okay. Just got to keep building up that line, get protection for your quarterback. Number 8, we have Jalen Walker going to the Carolina Panthers, the edge out of Georgia. Just seen that one there a lot. I think Jalen Walker, as a Georgia fan, I think Jalen Walker is the best player that we have to offer in this draft. I might have said Malachi Starks at one point. It might still be Malachi Starks, but I think Jalen Walker has the best chance to get developed and turn into something really, really special. Number 9 is the Saints, and I'm a little worried about Shedeur Sanders going here, but I hope he doesn't. So for right now, because I kind of have this guy falling a little bit, because he could have gone to Jacksonville at way back at number 5, but I've got Mason Graham going to the Saints, the defensive lineman from Michigan. Number 10, this is where I started having some real difficulties figuring out what the Bears should do. I was really in tune with their draft plans last year. This year, not as much, but I know they've got Ben Johnson there now, and there's could be some fun possibilities with that, but I just gave them offensive tackle Kelvin Banks out of Texas. I don't know if I'd usually see him going this early in the mocks, but I just saw it was a team need, and just kind of the way the cards fell, and I just rolled with it. Number 11 for the San Francisco 49ers, we have Jahad Campbell, linebacker from Alabama. I think he's a kind of been a riser lately, so I think he's maybe going to go a little higher than we've been seeing. Number 12, we have the Dallas Cowboys. This is one of my favorite picks in the draft if it happens. First wide receiver off the board, Matthew Golden out of Texas. So he kind of stays close to home. And as a Georgia fan, we played Texas twice last year. And Matthew Golden, I think, was for sure the best wide receiver that Texas had. He was really, really good. So I think he's wide receiver 1 for me, and I would agree with that pick. I think that would be fun, pairing him up with CeeDee Lamb. So number 13, we have Miami Dolphins. I have them taking Will Johnson, the cornerback out of Michigan. I'm a big believer in Will Johnson. I know some injury stuff in his 40 time sort of slowed some of his draft momentum. I'm not buying into it. I think he's a great player. Like when he played, he was great. Number 14, we have the Indianapolis Colts selecting Colston Loveland, tight end out of Michigan. I also think he's great. I think he's a little bit slept on because the quarterback play was atrocious at Michigan this past year, and I just think he's a great player. He's going to make a team better instantly. Number 15, we have the Atlanta Falcons. Caveat, I hope that we draft Mike Green, but I'm tired of mocking the player that I want to the Falcons when normally they never pick. Usually they never pick that player. If they do, it's offense. Like sometimes offense we get right, but we never pick pass rush. We need pass rush. We've needed it for like, I don't know, 10 or 15 years we've needed pass rush, and we hardly ever address it. So I'm going to say that we do that again. We are going defense. We're going to go Jahdae Barron, if I pronounce that right, cornerback out of Texas, which I do really like that player. I do think he's good. Carson Beck didn't do squat against Texas when we played him. So I do think that he is good. I just wish we would go edge. Maybe they'll prove me wrong since I'm going a different route with this mock. Number 16, we have the Arizona Cardinals going Michael Williams, edge out of Georgia. That's another guy who he showed a lot of flashes. He just needs good development, and hopefully he'll go to the right team that can do that. Number 17, the Cincinnati Bengals get the guy that I wanted for the Falcons, Mike Green, edge out of Marshall. I just think he's going to do good, putting pressure on the QB. Number 18, we have the Seattle Seahawks. I have them going Teteroa McMillan, the wide receiver at Arizona. A lot of people have him as wide receiver 1. I know he's the big body type, so I don't know if he's as explosive, but he's probably got the good catch radius and everything. So I think that would be good. I think they could use a little more firepower up there in Seattle. Number 19, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I have them taking Shamar Stewart, the edge of Texas A&M. We're going to see some interesting household names. If you follow recruiting, like really, really highly recruited guys, where I don't know if they lived up to all of their potential in college, but they still have that chance of getting developed. We're going to start seeing a few of those familiar names somewhere in this range, I think. All right, so number 20, we have the Denver Broncos, and everybody's just insistent that they need a running back, so I kind of fell into it. I only just recently started hearing buzz about another running back going first round, so I went ahead and just kind of went with that trend. I got them taking Omarion Hampton, the running back from North Carolina. I was watching his highlights earlier, and he seemed really good. I guess I didn't watch him enough in the fall, but that would be fun putting him in that Sean Payton offense. So number 21, this is going to be one of the highlights if this happens. Pittsburgh Steelers, man, I don't know what their plan is at quarterback. Kind of sick of the Aaron Rodgers news. Like, I kind of wish he would just go right off into the sunset, retire, call it a day, because I'm tired of the headlines. And I think the Steelers should draft Shedeur Sanders, QB from Colorado. I do think he's going to work out. I don't care if he doesn't have the strongest arm. I don't care if he ran like basically a 4.8 40. I think he's going to work out, man. I think he has the command of the offense, and I think he's a leader. Some people say he's cocky, but honestly, if you got the guts to go out there and say, pick me or else, I do have some respect for that, because you're really putting yourself on the line. So that really doesn't bother me at all. It'll cause a lot of attention. I don't know if the Steelers are the top to go for that, but man, they need a quarterback, and I think it would work out if he slides this far. I'm still skeptical if he makes it this far. 22, we've got the Los Angeles Chargers selecting Kenneth Grant, defensive lineman out of Michigan, reunite him with Harbaugh, another great defensive lineman from Michigan. Number 23, the hometown team, because this draft is happening in Lambeau Field, we have the Green Bay Packers selecting Grace Abel, the interior offensive lineman from North Dakota State. Kind of just went needs-based from the information I had. 24, we have the Minnesota Vikings selecting Nick Emenwari, the safety out of South Carolina. I see a lot of people have him as safety 1, and that was a big need for them. Number 25, we got the Houston Texans selecting Josh Simmons, offensive tackle out of Ohio State. Number 26, this is another fun one if it happens. The Los Angeles Rams taking Jackson Dart, quarterback out of Ole Miss. I just think any quarterback is going to have a great setup if they're in Los Angeles. They're going to be set up for success. Let him learn behind Matthew Stafford for a year or two, and maybe it'll be good to go. All right. Number 27, another one of my favorite picks. We got Baltimore Ravens selecting Malachi Starks, safety from Georgia. I think that Baltimore would get the most out of him, and it's a match made in heaven. Perfect for each other. Number 28, we have the Detroit Lions selecting Walter Nolan, defensive lineman from Ole Miss. That's another one of those I said is a familiar name. I think he would do great adding to their depth in Detroit. All right, so we've got number 29, the Washington Commanders. This is a guy who I refuse to believe is going to make it out of the first round. He was projected high, started falling into the second round. Now he's making a comeback. Yeah, I think he's going first round. James Pierce Jr., edge out of Tennessee. Honestly, I wouldn't even be mad if the Falcons traded back and got him. I'd be happy with that. Number 30, we have the Buffalo Bills selecting Derek Harmon, defensive lineman from Oregon. I know that the Bills have to concentrate on beefing up D-line or edge help, just trying to do something to disrupt the line of scrimmage better. It's probably like the one weakness I really saw of them in the playoffs that cost them. Number 31, Kansas City Chiefs. I have them selecting Tyler Booker, interior offensive lineman from Alabama. We all saw the Super Bowl. We knew it was going to be some type of offensive lineman that they need, so just protect Mahomes. Number 32, I have the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles selecting cornerback Trey Amos out of Ole Miss. That's another guy who I've seen rising up really fast in mocks, and I think he's going to do well wherever he lands. But if you go to the Eagles, hard to do much better than that organization. So, yeah, just to kind of sum it all up, that was sort of a quick one I was rolling through because this is one year feel like I have no idea, and that's part of the fun. So please feel free to comment, let me know what you think, and maybe I'll come back and look at these picks. I really think I'm only going to get Cam Ward right, possibly, because when the dominoes start falling, it's probably going to get crazy. So we'll see what happens. Maybe the Falcons will finally take a pass rusher. So let's hope, anyways. We can dream. And thank you for tuning in. I guess I will talk to you guys soon.